Okay, so in this video I'm going to explain how to balance these formula equations, how to balance these equations. So if we have a look here, basically what we need to make sure is that we have the same number of everything on this side as we do on this side. So it's always imagine an imaginary line that runs down the middle here where the arrows are. Okay, so we need to make sure we've got the same amount of everything on this side of the arrow as we do on this side of the arrow. So I find the easiest way to do this is to draw little lines underneath to count, and then we add big numbers to adjust how many of each thing we have. So we can't change the formula of this, for instance. We can't do things like add a little 2 on the end here, because it would change what it actually is. Think about something like water, H2O, alright? If we put a 2 on the end, it's no longer water. You know, if you ask people all around the world, most people know the formula for water. They know it's H2O. But, you know, if you add a 2 on the end and you ask people, is this water? They'd go, no, it's H2O, not H2O2. It's, you know, every substance around us, like things like water or carbon dioxide, they have a specific formula, and you'll learn next year about why that is. But we can't just go changing that. The one thing we can do to help balance out what's on one side and on the other side is add some big numbers at the front. So start with, it's a good tip, or sometimes it's helpful to start with the biggest, ugliest looking formula. So in this case, I reckon it's this one here. Alright, now you don't have to start with that one. Alright, and in this case it might have actually been easier if we started with oxygen, but as a general rule it's usually a little bit easier if you start with the biggest, ugliest one. Okay, so this formula here has, if we have a look at it, has 2 sodiums. And on this side I've only got 1 sodium. So the little 2 tells me I've got 2 sodiums. I've only got 1 oxygen, but I've got 2 sodiums. So I'm going to put a big 2 in front here, and now that gives me 2 sodiums on the side as well. Great. Now let's have a look at the oxygens. I've got 1 oxygen on this side, but I've got 2 of them on this side. So how can I double the number of oxygens? I can't just add a little 2 on the end. I have to put a big 2 in front. Now let's look at what that's going to do to this formula. That's going to give me 2 lots of 2. Alright, so imagine that basically, if the big 2 means I've got the whole thing again. So you can imagine I've got the whole thing again. That means I've now got 4 sodiums, 2 lots of 2, and I've got 2 oxygens. So that's that. You know, we can draw 4 little lines under there now. So the oxygens are now happy, but we have to go back and double check everything. And if we have a look, you'll notice, oh, the sodiums now, we've got 4 on this side, but we've only got 2 on this side. So we're going to have to bump this number up. Make that a 4. And now, so we just keep adding to both sides until we have, now I've got 4 sodiums here, 4 sodiums on this side, 2 lots of 2. I've got 2 oxygens, and I've got 2 oxygens here, 2 lots of just the 1 oxygen. Gives me 2 oxygens. So everything is balanced. 4 sodiums, 4 sodiums, 2 oxygens, 2 oxygens. And it's really easy to make mistakes on these, so it's really important that you double check at the end. And don't be afraid just to start over again. If you're finding it really tricky, really hard, start with a different formula. Like rather than starting here, maybe start with the oxygens or something like that. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. Alright, let's have a look at the next one. So I might start with this one. It looks like the biggest to me. And I've got 1 sodium here, and I've got 1 sodium on this side. So that's okay so far. Now I've got 1 chlorine on this side, 1 chlorine on this side, but I've got 2 chlorines on this side. So I'm going to put a big 2 in front here, and what is that? It doubles everything here. So I've got 2 sodiums now, and 2 chlorines here now too. So go back and double check everything. Oh, oops, I've only got 1 sodium here. So a big 2 in front, 2 sodiums. Alright, so let's double check everything again. 2 sodiums here, 2 sodiums here. 2 chlorines here, 2 chlorines here. It's all happy. Alright, let's do the next one. So we'll start with this one. 1 magnesium here, 1 magnesium on this side. 2 chlorines on this side, 2 chlorines on this side. So everything is already happy. Let's double check. 1 magnesium there, and 1 magnesium there. 2 chlorines here, 2 chlorines here. So we don't have to add any numbers at all. Alright, lucky last, this one here, let's have a look. Alright, magnesium, one magnesium here, okay, one magnesium here, one magnesium on this side. So they're okay for now. One oxygen on this side, one oxygen on this side, two oxygens on this side. So which side needs more oxygen? This one here. Put a big 2 in front, doubles everything. Now I've got two magnesiums and I've got two oxygens as well. So we double check everything and the oxygens are now happy, 2 on each side, but I need another magnesium on this side. I'm going to need 2. So I put a big 2 in front and that gives me 2 magnesiums on this side and 2 on the side. So we double check everything, always place a double check again, especially if you've changed something. So we've got 2 magnesiums, 2 magnesiums, 2 oxygens on this side, 2 oxygens on this side. So those are some of the basic balancing equations, and these are the type that you'll have in the test. There's one tricky one, but these are basically the type you'll have in the test.